in the heart of a bustling metropolis. Where glass towers scraped the sky and luxury was the language of the elite, lived a man named Victor Chen. Victor was a renowned CEO of a multinational conglomerate, a self-made titan whose empire spanned continents. His office on the top floor of the Chen Tower offered panoramic views of the city. But despite his professional success, Victor's family life was complex and often distant. Victor's daughter, Kemli Chen, was a bright, curious 10-year-old with a quiet demeanor. Unlike her father's public charisma and commanding presence, Emily was reserved and often kept to herself, retreating into books and puzzles. She had grown up surrounded by luxury. Yet Victor's busy schedule meant that time for father-daughter bonding was rare. The Chen household was staffed by a handful of employees, including a housemaid named Amina. Amina was originally from Kenya, with rich ebony skin and an unassuming presence. She had been hired several months earlier to help manage the large estate and look after Emily. Amina's voice was gentle, her movements careful, and she carried herself with a quiet dignity that made her part of the household's rhythm without drawing unnecessary attention. What truly distinguished Amina was her unexpected skill. She spoke fluent Mandarin. It wasn't something Victor had initially known, nor was it common knowledge in the household. She had learned the language through years of dedication during her studies and time abroad, a hidden talent she rarely displayed. One afternoon, as sunlight spilled through the grand windows of the Chen mansion, Mina found Emily sitting alone in the study, surrounded by books in Mandarin, something Victor rarely noticed, but Emily had been quietly passionate about. The young girl struggled with the pronunciation of certain phrases, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Let me help you," Amina said softly, stepping closer. Voice was smooth, tinged with the lilting tones of native Mandarin. "Part means family is love. Repeat after me, Zha should I." Emily looked up, startled to hear her maid speak Mandarin so fluently. She hesitated, but then repeated the phrase, stumbling slightly over the tones. "Almost perfect," Amina encouraged gently, smiling warmly. "Try again, slowly." Emily's eyes sparkled with newfound confidence as she practiced the phrase. The sound of her voice melding with Amina's was unexpected and comforting. Unbeknownst to them, Victor had entered the room quietly, intending to retrieve a report he had left on the desk. He froze at the doorway, caught off guard by the soft exchange in Mandarin between his daughter and the maid. The words were so precise, the accents so flawless, that he struggled to believe what he was hearing. Victor's mind raced. He had assumed that his daughter's interest in Mandarin was the product of occasional lessons. But here was the maid, not only speaking it with ease, but actively teaching Emily with patience and warmth. And Emily, his own daughter, was responding with a fluency and enthusiasm Victor hadn't seen before. Clearing his throat, Victor stepped into the room. "Emily," he said, his voice a mixture of surprise and curiosity, "since when do you speak Mandarin so well?" A little startled by her father's sudden presence. "I'm learning, Dad," she replied shyly. Glancing at Amina for reassurance, Victor turned to Amina, who gave a subtle nod, her calm demeanor unwavering. "She's been practicing every day," Amina explained softly. "Emily is very eager. To learn Mandarin is a beautiful language, and she has a natural talent." Victor felt a rush of emotions, pride, disbelief, and a hint of guilt for not paying closer attention to his daughter's hidden world. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked Emily gently. Emily shrugged, her innocence on full display. "I thought you were too busy." Victor knelt down to her level. "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I should have made more time for you." From that day forward, a subtle change took place in the Chen household. Victor began to take a more active interest in Emily's Mandarin lessons, often joining them during rare, quiet evenings. Amina continued her role, not just as a maid, but as a mentor and guide, bridging worlds through language and care. Their story became more than just about language. It became about connection, understanding, and breaking barriers in the most unexpected of places.